Hey everybody, Chief Petey Rollins, this is Brent Watson. The Weather Center will give you an extended update on Helene and the local impacts that we are expecting. Even as of this afternoon update on this Wednesday, tropical storm watches have already been issued as far north as almost Boone, North Carolina. And you can see that Helene is expected to make landfall as we head towards Thursday evening as a Cat 3 hurricane, then quickly move inland. Now, I did want to show you one very important thing. The cone is not showing you where the impacts are going to be. It's very deceiving. The cone is just to show where the uncertainty is and where the center of circulation is going to be. These things are hundreds of miles wide, so there's no way that the impacts are going to be within that little cone. So that's why there's a lot of impacts and alerts that have already been issued, those tropical storm watches all the way up into the mountains of North Carolina. So we got to talk about that. The other thing we've got to talk about is the mountains are already getting some heavy rain down in North Carolina with these bands of rain that are going to continue to move up into our region. Even tonight, Wednesday night, waves into Thursday. I think the worst conditions for our area are probably going to be along and west of the I-77 corridor, where that rain feeds up right through the mountains of Tennessee and North Carolina and into parts of far southwest Virginia. So again, west of the Blue Ridge, the rainiest conditions on Thursday. Notice this rain. This is not even the hurricane itself. It hasn't even made landfall on Thursday afternoon. Rain already feeding northward from that. So we're going to have some waves of showers off and on Thursday, more the heaviest of rain down along the mountains of North Carolina. That's where some excessive flooding is likely to be. Now, Friday, Helene has already made landfall. Rain starting to approach quickly from the south as we get into the afternoon on Friday. That is when we do expect some of the heaviest. So Friday morning, those rain bands begin to move into the region. There is Helene. Then by the time we get into mid to late morning, the center of circulation is over the mountains of North Carolina. These rain bands are feeding in some extremely heavy rain, along with that severe and thunderstorm and even tornado risk as we get into Friday afternoon. By the time we get into late Friday afternoon, there's 3 p.m., there's some 5 p.m. and 6 p.m. We'll start to see the coverage of rain really start to go down and any severe threat begin to wind down as well. So it's primarily going to be throughout the daylight hours on Friday, pretty much sunrise to almost sunset, the impacts from Helene as that moves on through. Now let's talk about a couple things. We've got projected rainfall totals just incredible amounts along the mountains of North Carolina. You can see where the mountains enhance that rainfall. We could be talking about 6 to 12 inches of rain. Places down towards Boone, just east of Asheville, about a foot of rain, and then they do drop off to the east of that. Now, the good news is we may not be seeing those excessive amounts of rainfall, with the exception of places such as down towards Independence, maybe Galax. We could get quite a bit of heavy rain with that. So we're thinking widespread amounts of 1 to 2 inches likely with this as it moves on through. There are going to be some bands of heavy rain that pick up. The models try to take a guess, take a stab at where those are going to be, but we can't look at that at face value. So these yellow bands could be anywhere in our coverage area. We'll know as they start developing on Friday, but we could see some 2 to 4 inch totals in those heavier bands, which could lead to some flash flooding. And then by far the worst conditions are going to be down in the mountains of North Carolina, where we've got that kind of a bullseye of that 4 to 6 plus down there. Again, this could change. The mountains tend to squeeze out that precipitation pretty quickly. Now, as far as the winds are going to pick up Friday morning, but the strongest winds are expected about midday on Friday, where they could top 30 to almost 50 miles per hour, especially a little closer towards Wytheville and Galax and Independence. Those winds will start to come down quite a bit as we head toward the evening on Friday. So bottom line, couple things. Heavy rainfall, 1 to 3 inches expected. Some locally higher amounts can't be ruled out. Friday morning through late Friday afternoon is when Helene moves in. Strong winds are going to pick up. We could get some stronger gusts up to 30, maybe 40 miles per hour. And while, yes, the risk is, elevated, we do have the potential for tornadoes out there as well. And that, again, will be a game time decision. There's no way of knowing where those could be and how many at this point. But typically with landfalling hurricanes, you get that risk of some tornadoes. We'll keep you updated as we go throughout the rest of this week. Did want to give you an extended update on this as we do have rain ahead of Helene, which is going to move in. And then, of course, the most active weather day is going to be on Friday.